Hey everyone, welcome to the latest episode of Jetson AI Labs. Thank you very much for joining us. This week we have a special guest, Raffaello Bonghi. He's one of the earliest Jetson developers out there, robotics extraordinaire, and actually one of the latest members of the Jetson team. He just started earlier this month with us. So we're all super excited to have him on today. As always, along with me, we have Jim and Dana. Say hi, guys.
Hi, it's Jim from JetsonHacks.com. I want to thank everybody for taking the time out of their day to come visit with us.
Hi, it's Dana and with Deep Learning Institute, and it's great to have you again.
Thanks, guys. And as always, I'm Dusty from the Jetson team. You can find me on the forums or GitHub. Jim, Dana, and I, early last year, we had created this Jetson AI Fundamentals training course that you can take if you're interested to get started with AI. And this month, what we have coming up is the big NVIDIA GPU Technology Conference. It's starts on April 12th. Let me bring up my screen here so I can walk you guys through some things. It's one of the world's leading AI conferences. It's totally free. It's still all virtual this year. And you can register here. There's like thousands of sessions, starting off with Jensen's big keynote right there on April 12th in the morning, which you'll be able to live stream this and see all of our greatest updates and roadmap plans. And there's lots of great speakers from universities, industry, and NVIDIA experts talking on everything from deep learning to computer vision, robotics. I think we have over 100 Jetson-related sessions in here this year, in addition to I think there's more than 1,000 or a couple thousand total across NVIDIA. So it's going to be a real busy couple of weeks here, and again, it's all totally free to register, so everybody can learn about all the latest techniques and research going on in the machine learning and AI field. So just to walk you through how you can actually find all of the Jetson related stuff, because there's just so many sessions out there. First, you would go to this page and register here. And then once you're registered, you'll be able to see the full session catalog. And there's great trainings from Dana's Deep Learning Institute here, so you can go there. And this is what all of those look like.
If you click over that, that looks like that's not the DLI part, right? The DLI part maybe is a different one.
Probably this one. I think I had clicked this one over here first. There we go.
Okay, so these are workshops. This is an add-on if you're interested. These are all-day workshops, but also gives you access to the GPU instances after the GTC as well. And the one you see there farthest to the left is Fundamentals of Deep Learning. If you're just getting started into how all of these models work, that is a great one. It's been recently revamped, and it's an excellent course to get started with. But if you're interested in CUDA or more about Rapids, which is an awesome way to work with accelerated models, or if you are interested in BERT and NLP transformers, that NLP course is a great one. So there's a few there to look at. Some are more industry specialized, but there's a lot of great training that you can take at DLI during GTC.
Yeah, these DLI courses are really great. For those of you that have done the AI fundamentals training from Jim, Dana, and I, there was one of the DLIs there on the Nano. And a lot of these other ones are similar vein, but they run on the cloud and can do, they have all these great Jupyter notebooks that you can follow and do some really advanced topics on there. So
and these, just let me say, these are instructor led, whereas the one that you did in the Jetson Fundamentals is self-paced. These are all instructor led, so you have the opportunity to work with TAs during the session, but then of course you have access to the coursework later as well.
Oh, right, yes. And actually, that reminds me, Dana and I are going to be doing a couple sessions, like a TA help session for those of you that are going through the fundamental training.
It's called Ask and Learn with Ask and Learn about NVIDIA Jetson with us.
Oh, I better sign up for that.
And we'll have other people there too. Lots of people.
So you can find that session here on the Autonomous Machines catalog. How you can find this essentially is once you're logged in, you go to this little collections menu here, and go to the Autonomous Machines collection. And this will provide you all of the Jetson and robotics related sessions, and those ones that Dana had mentioned are
Those
on
are
here.
on the 22nd and the 23rd. So it's the second week of GTC, and their help sessions completely free with the registration. So that's not anything extra you need to do. Just come and ask questions or getting stuck or just curious, and there'll be people there to help you.
Yeah, there's a lot of really great high-end robotics ones in here. There's intelligent video analytics, and then there's also introductory ones. There's a session I'm excited about. We're doing a bunch of the Jetson community project makers. We're doing a session with here. This one's called Build Edge AI Projects with the Jetson community, and we're going to have 5 different project makers come on, walk you through how they created their project from start to finish, and then you'll be able to ask them questions interactively. And I have a list here of some of the highlights in this. As I mentioned, we have over 75 different Jetson sessions, including on-demand ones that you can view anytime. These are some of the ones from my schedule that I picked out that I definitely want to go to. So I encourage you all to register and then go and check out all these sessions and book up your time for that. All right. Well, that's the big news from Dana and my end. We got this big GTC next month. What's going on in your neck of the woods, Jim?
So Jim has been working on a project for the last 3 months that I'm just barely living through. And I'll be out of that next month, which I'm thinking is like in 3 days or whatever.
Is that your race car project you're working on?
Yeah, it's a hybrid. I call it the Beast. It's kind of designed for outdoor use. It has a Velodyne LiDAR on it. Here's its carcass back here, but it has a Stereolabs. The interesting thing about it is it has an upgraded chassis, and we're using an Xavier NX on it. So it's a really kind of off-road type of thing that they're going to use for multiple vehicle, kind of follow the leader type of thing. So it's an interesting project. But with the lockdown, the big news here is California may come out of lockdown within the next, 2 or 3 years. They're saying next month, but they've said that last year. I'm not falling for it. But
that's great. So that thing is like outdoor tires on. Essentially, it's an RC car that can drive outside. Is that right?
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
it has fenders, and that's just its carcass. So it's basically has inner wheel fenders, and it's all kind of protected. Looks kind of a little bit more professional than the race cars. But anyway, so Jetson Hacks will start up here around GTC time. We'll probably start covering some of the news and some of the interesting sessions and stuff.
That's awesome. Look forward to it. All right. Well, with that, let's bring on this month's guest. Here's Raffaello.
I have a lot of questions for him.
Hi,
Hey,
finally.
There he is.
There he is.
Good morning. How are you?
Great. Great to see you, Raffaello. Thank you so much for joining us this week.
It's my honor here to stay here with you.
Oh, yeah. And Raffaello, he's one of the oldest guys that I've known in the Jetson community, along with Jim. They've been around basically since the beginning, both with TK1 and before. And Raffaello, you made like a ton of really interesting projects and autonomous robots, and we're really one of the pioneers of autonomous robotics using Jetson. So I know you have a lot of great stuff that you want to show to us today. So
yes, many stuff. But really, I want to spend just a few time just to remind when we met in 2015. We met in America for the GTC.
In this industry, that's a long time. So
yes, true.
A lot's happened since then.
Yeah, first for all, yes, I will show you something. I just share in these days my robots. Hold on, maybe yes, Panther there. Some of the followers know Nanosaur. This is a preview for today, and we will speak about JetOp. First for all, I want to show you maybe the website. I will start from Next. And in these days, I'm upgrading. It's not completely done, but it's on GitHub. Will be my new website. Here there are some new stuff. It's not completely done, but when will be ready, I will move directly on my Next. There are all my projects. Example, Nanosaur, Dude. This is the first robot that I went in America with Walter that I read is following us. Harvey, another project for research during my PhD, and other robots. And the same story for other
quite
projects.
the collection.
Yes. This is a lot robotics love. I really started from when I was young, my university, and now my work. I'm so happy for that, and so happy that I'm joined finally in NVIDIA. Really happy and excited to be part of this team.
Yeah, it's great to have you on the team, and feels like you've been a part of the team for a long time now.
Yeah, same feeling, honestly. It was look like, wow, I was already working here.
Raffaello, I love this Nanosaur. How did you come up with the shape of the shape of the body?
Yes, well, it was a long story. First for all, if you see maybe the shape remind a bit the shape of Panther. One moment, let me pick up the biggest, the heavy robot. One moment. One second. Okay, now I can hear you. This is the biggest one, and Nanosaur is a copy. Let's try without broke nothing. If you see the shape remind Panther, but the scope or the goal for Nanosaur is quite different, because Panther was made for research, and the Nanosaur is made for STEM, or the reason is grow up a community that want make a robot simple using ROS2. Second step, we'll use Isaac as well for a Nanosaur, and make all this part simple. You can make with your 3D printer. I spent really a lot of time to make it. Let me see if I can open my 3D CAD. 1 second. I forgot to open. Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay, it's coming. Meanwhile, yeah, no, okay. Speaking about Nanosaur, maybe I can run. Let's see. Okay, it's ready. This was the project of Nanosaur. It's completely open source. You can make or modify some parts. Example, in my community for Nanosaur, there are some friends that are making in wood Nanosaur. It's really nice. It's simple, really few stuff. Example, there is an head, this part. Remind JetBot. Oh, yes, exactly. No, wrong. Okay. Remind the JetBot for the hardware for this version. There is the same motor controller. The motors are different. The idea to use a power bank only for this release, because second step will be upgrade this front part and use a step up plus a new motor controller to directly manage a Jetson Xavier NX. If you want to, you can switch between the two boards using the same power bank. But in this case, I need more voltage. This will be a new version for Nanosaur right now. And if you have seen the website, the first call now, there are some parts to stabilize. And I want to say thank you for the community and some guys that are helping me for the expansion board. Now we are release the little expansion board that is inside Nanosaur is a little board behind this flap, just to send the controller to the motor controller and to the display.
So
There are
you actually designed your own PCB for this, huh?
yes, yeah. Well, there is let's see. One moment. Stop to share this screen and share something else. Sorry, I will bother you, but yeah, this is fine. This is the Discord page. There are some nice pictures. This is the version that I told you, made in wood. Really nice. He's under progress right now, but I'm helping him. There are interesting pictures. Yes, this is the expansion board that I was telling you. Now it's really simple. It's something anyway that you can make. If you want, if you don't have time or you don't want weight, you can make a tomb. This is important from this project. Only a 3D printer is finally needed, and welder.
That's a great looking community you have there.
Do you
Yes.
do you print your own tracks too?
Yes, I printed.
So that's like TPU or something?
Exactly. It's a TPU. In this case, I used a NinjaFlex that is quite more elastic compared to standard TPU. But one friend using another TPU and changing some parameters made it from scratch, and this is fine. Finally, you can make completely from scratch.
So most of your robots are tracked robots, it looks like.
Yes.
Why are you attracted to the tracks?
Well, you know, maybe a person. It's called Walter, and I know he's here. He started
So
to
it's
tell
Walter's
me,
fault.
why not? Yeah, why not to make a robot with a truck? And in the beginning, it was Panther, because if you remember, Walter made a robot, Mizerbot, with a truck, and I was curious as well. I spent a lot of time to make it. I then design Panther in this case with this weird shape. Maybe I can switch again. Sorry. I will close again, share again. No, where we are here. Yes, okay, sharing again.
Walter says we love tracks.
Yes, exactly. And this is, I have some picture maybe interesting about Panther. This is how I made. And here I really spend a lot of the time to design this part. For me, I'm a control engineer and not a mechanic engineer. When I think to make this robot, I open a book, a mechanic book, understood how you can design it, use a CAD to know the forces or what is really needed to make it.
That's really impressive that you taught yourself all the mechanical stuff. And when you made the PCB, do you have formal electronics engineering training, or did you teach yourself that too?
Well, it was the same because my studies in high school was classical and means study ancient Greek, Latin, really completely away from engineering. And I studied from scratch, asking to my friends, to my Italian community that now is an association, but when I was young, I was only a group of people. And they support me, help me to learn about make a PCB, what is mean, mechanics as well. Well, was simple. Example, what is mean make simple simple board.
You're a real Renaissance man. You got it all under wraps.
Well, I'm always interested about technology and to understand example in production what is mean make a PCB, the effort to make. You understand finally when you have your Jetson, how many people are worked, what is mean, what is deep inside. And then for me, yes, was part of my background. This is an Italian part, but I study in this case how you can design. Well, it's really simple compared a real PCB, a real production PCB. But for me, it was a first step to understand this story.
I think that's an inspiration. I think for all of us, it's easy to kind of think that, oh, I can't do this because that's not my expertise, or I don't know how to get started. But you just jumped right in and just started digging. I'm sure there were errors and trial and error that you learned from. And
Yeah.
I think that's what you need in this robotics field, because it's just so broad based. There's so many things. You can't know it all to start with, right?
Yes, completely agree. And the first point, you need to try. If it doesn't work, never mind. Example, Panther, before to see in action, you don't have idea how many experiment I made it. And the same was with the Nanosaur. I made some error or mistakes before to see the first shape working. And here example are simple robot that I made, my mini sumo robot. Was really in the beginning. And step by step, I learn. Example from this robot, I understood what it means make a robot. After this was during my bachelor degree. I understood how you can make a controller. In this case, a P&I controller to control a motor. Second step, okay, now I can manage the really low-level layer of a robot. What is means make an AI, make something really an intelligent part of the robot. First experiment was before NVIDIA. I tried other boards. Okay, good enough, not bad. Well, I need something better. Maybe not only an infrared is fine for me to make an intelligent robot. Second step, I try with a camera. Okay, maybe I need something better. Okay, wow, there is a Jetson TK1 2014. Wow, cool. Okay, finally I can do something really cool, something that is useful or for experiment. In this case was for my master and the beginning of my PhD, this robot. And step by step, you can do it. You can do, and don't worry if you see something impossible. We are lucky, in particular, we are in the 2021. You can open YouTube, find some influencer, look a blog, and you can understand. When I was young, internet was completely different. We are lucky now.
So the RV was the one you used in your PhD. It looks like that has
yes.
tracks too.
Yes, was another tracker robot, but this was with a reason. Really technical reason was a robot work inside a nuclear fusion machine. Exactly, nuclear fusion. Experimental. We don't have nothing in action right now. It's only for experimental. And this robot was to move inside and check the status of these tungsten tiles. Is a really strange machine compare a fission machine and a fission nuclear plant. There are three big, strong magnetic field to contain the plasma inside, because the plasma is really high temperature. And this robot, RV, was made, in this case, when the machine was completely cooled down, without magnetic field active, to check the status and the maintenance of this machine. The part that I spent really a lot of the time was the controller and the mechanical part. If you see, one moment, yeah, the first problem was the size. A gate was really short size. We're speaking about 10 centimeter. 10 centimeter, you don't have enough space, to make a good robot with a lot of mechanics and pick up this tile that sometimes are broken. These are the tiles. And yes, exactly.
I think I saw in there that you were using ROS in this, and I know you're a longtime ROS user and have used that on a lot of your robots, right?
Yes, it's true, and there is a story. There is a story for all people that are using ROS. I share this little part of the story about this robot. When I designed it, well, hold on. We can start from this one, from my bachelor degree. I made the controller, all parts, and when I start to design the robot, we are speaking about 2008. My first problem was to show to my professor that my robot was working, because okay, fine, but my problem was a proof that it was working. And was a first test with my father to show something about the status of the robot, the path was following, the obstacles, but was fine, but was a really long job for me that I'm not in this field. To design a user interface was really a lot of work. Same for design packages to communicate with a PC. I tried again after, yes, exactly, to make another interface with processing. Okay, spend a lot of time. Same story during my master degree when I made this robot. And the first experiment, yes, with a Jetson TK1. Spent a lot of time and finally was completely exhausted. A friend told me, do you know that exists ROS? There is a nice 3D view. You can integrate your robot with ROS and maybe you can save time. When I see that, oh my God, I must try it. Because just to make this page, this interface, I spent maybe 4 months just to know how to realize it. And yes, and after that I start to use ROS and I like it. And to be simple, to be simple to use in this case some packages that for me, with my experience, was not sufficient. Example, make a graphic interface. This is one of the first reasons. It was not for the controller in my case, not for a path planner, because it was a part of my studies, in this case, a path planner or a controller, but was in this case an interface.
So that you could prove that it worked, huh?
Yes. And I will show you later with Panther in this case. And yes, and another one was after time, example Duda with a Jetson TK1. In this case, I was already expert to use ROS. I think the first version that I used was Groovy. Not really sure in this case. This is a video, first video of the robot, first test at home with Slam. This is what Gmapping was really nice. And yes, you're right about ROS. Well, now I'm curious, really curious to try Isaac. I really like. It was always without time, because after that, after my PhD, it was time to start a job, and the time completely changed for me. And I travel around the world. I have some picture for Jim.
Yeah, we actually have a question from the audience about ROS 2 and can it work with Isaac? And I think this will be one area that you'll be investigating.
Yes.
I know that Isaac has a ROS bridge in it, so you can communicate between Isaac pipelines and ROS nodes. But I think Rafael is going to help to flesh that out and maybe provide feedback on what we can do and improve there. And we've been doing a lot of work with ROS 2 for adding new nodes on the infrastructure side, containers, and my colleague Ame has done a really great job in getting a lot new nodes out there. We have a CUDA point cloud library acceleration now, and a lot of different things that we've been working for. But sorry, Jim, I interrupted you there. What were you going to ask?
So since I met Raffaello, he's been traveling the world, and I find that fascinating that he takes his robots with him. And where have you been? What have you worked on? And where are you going? Are you going to stay in London or Great Britain, or you wandering back to Italy? Or
well, the plan is move to US, to the headquarters. Yes. Now I'm here for COVID. It's fine. Well, the story is long why I'm here. I have some picture for you. Yes. Okay. Starting where I moved, where I lived, or some conference that I have seen in my life. In particular, for the guys that are following us, I'm Italian from Rome. Now I'm living in Manchester, in United Kingdom. During my time in some conference I made around the world, Hamburg, Paris, Munich, Santa Clara for the GTC, Tokyo for conference, and I lived in Tokyo as well 3 years ago right now. Well, I have some picture about traveling. In particular, this one, was the first time that I went in America with Walter. This is for the GTC 2014. It was wow, amazing
San Jose.
moment. Yes, so excited in San Jose. This is the first time that I met Jensen. It was during the party. So excited. I was really, really young.
For people who don't know, Jensen is in charge of NVIDIA. He's our CEO.
Yes, he's our CEO.
I think everybody knows, Dana.
Well,
Yeah.
we know, but I don't know if everybody knows.
He's
That's
not
good.
my CEO.
This was during the same trip, first time to cross the bridge, and then another picture with the first robot Jude and the Miserbot with the Walter. Another one, this is the year after with GTC 15. Now was the first version with Panther, and the second, another version of Miserbot. I don't remember which version in this case, and the Dude as well.
So these all look laser cut.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but Panther is made with a laser cut. It's without a 3D printer for different reasons. First point, I was without a 3D printer.
That's a good reason.
Yes, good, really good reason. And I was not expert because if you see here, example, in front of the robot, there is few parts made, but was only aesthetical for the robot that I printed. I was not expert right now, and this is, and I moved to make Panther on this way, and I think, and I project some part or design. Speaking with Walter as well, finding the company, a good company to print or to cut some parts. This was the year when I became the Jetson champ. Well, hold on, was the year before, 2015, when I came. No, 2015. Yes, this year.
What's the Jetson champ?
Yeah, Jetson champ. Yes, and for all people that are following us. Are for the community, or the best people are making project with an NVIDIA Jetson, something cool, or supporting as well the community, supporting forums, Twitter, or growing up the community. This is one of the reasons that you are a Jetson champ. And with that, in fact, I was helping, starting really in the beginning with the NVIDIA to share my robot, my packaging. I always support ROS, and in this case, the integration with the Jetson, starting with the TK1, step by step, other version with Panther, and now with Nanosaur with ROS 2, made other packages. Example, Jetson Stat. This is not about ROS, but to control Jetson Easy, but it's not maintained right now. To update some part. This was some of these with a Jetson's.
I see back there. Is that a crowbar? Do you have to use that crowbar on your robots? Straighten them out?
Yeah.
I think if I remember this right, we had brought out the champs to film some videos about them making their projects, and that was tools. I don't think you normally find them in the NVIDIA lime green crowbar.
No.
That's a studio, one of the studios.
Yes, was a studio for a JForce studio. We went inside and made our video. I remember it was 2015. Yes, as well. We made some video.
I think that was for like the TX1 launch, if I remember right.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. this was for the Roscon. I was invited by NVIDIA with Dude to show, in this case, the integration with ROS and an NVIDIA TK1. Was nice. And the year after, I finally finished my PhD. Finally, whoa. Wow, really long work.
How many pages?
I don't remember, but more than 200, 300
Ooh,
maybe.
that's a
or
long
more.
one.
Yes, really theoretical PhD. Some parts, example, the robot was technical, but most of these was really theoretical, speaking about high-level controller you can design and really blah, blah, blah. After that, I was invited to go to Japan. Was my first trip in Japan, and I met Chitoku and Yuko. I don't know if are following us now. Oh,
Yep.
and
Chitoku is one of our other team members. And
yeah,
He'll be in that. He'll be in that help session too. That's coming up.
Yeah, Chitoku works on the JetBot and the Jet Racer.
Yes, and with him, it was my first year in Japan to first for all in a meetup, Japan meetup in NVIDIA to show how it's work the robot, and this was the version 16 TX2. It was the TX2 maybe, just on TX2. In this case, yes, I was using a Z stereo camera and the other one with a Xeon. I show the robot. Well, if you see, it was quite different compared now without slides, different motors. In this case, you don't know, but I remember. I was always in trouble with other motors. This is some nice picture from Japan. My cartoon made from Japan. I love Japan. Beautiful country. And I was to Odaiba. This is Odaiba to see the big Gundam there.
It's pretty tall.
Yeah, yes. Now, this is the oldest version. There is a new one. And now there is another one in Yokohama. The Gundam that can walk, if you have seen the videos online. After that, was the Maker Faire in Rome with Grant Imara, rest in peace. So amazing event in Italy with the Officine Robotic community. I will go back and show what is my Italian association. This is another picture from Panther. This is from my holidays house in Italy, in South Italy, Naples, where is born the pizza, the proper pizza. Like Italian, they started to complain about the pizza.
He looks giant. It looks like you can climb in one and drive it around. The way
yes. And this is what the GTC. And now I'm sorry, but I start to speak quite fast. Otherwise, I think we will stay live for 3 hours, maybe 4 hours. This was the GTC Europe. This was cool. Was just before to travel for work with my previous company, NTT Data. I made this really biggest map. Was a conference area in the GTC to control, and I made with the cartographer. Yes, was made with the cartographer. With Panther. This is another robot, not mine, from IIT, a humanoid robot. It was cool to show Panther directly there. I updated most of the part for this GTC, added a LiDAR, used Melodic. Yes, maybe it was the year with Melodic. I made as well, I used our tab map, but I don't have, I think, a map in this case. I show part of my work during my PhD was an augmented reality made for robotics. But it's the opposite. In this case, it's not an augmented reality for humans, but it's augmented reality for robot. In this case, you have an empty space, and you can draw in a map new obstacles, something, made a fake robot from a simulation, and you can see how the robot works. Was made for me during my PhD. Was important to test some part of the robot for the exploration inside the nuclear fusion machine before to go there, because sometimes the time was I was with few time to go there. I was away from my university and test in advance all the robot was doing in the same path. Really, not only in simulation, was something useful. And some part of this I used a camera, and I used there, yes, the camera and optical flow as well for in this case. And was one of the reasons that I show this poster on the GTC.
Was this on Dude and Panther?
Yes. But well, I didn't show Harvey, the other robot, for some reason that my professor told me was not better to show. And I used the other because finally the scope was the same. If I change the robot, the system works as well. This was my year in Japan when I worked with Entity Data Italy. This was the robot. Jim, do you know this robot?
No, I don't know anything about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so this is a MIT derivative. It had a scans LiDAR on it. Those were around for a little while, and then they went out of business. I liked them.
Yeah. It was really a great car, and we used it for a show for a customer to show the autonomous drive using AutoWare. I used AutoWare in the beginning. I met the community in Japan about AutoWare, and they tried. And we are speaking about 2017 to 2018, and now the story is completely different. AutoWare is completely grow up. You can use ROS 1, ROS 2. There are many integrations this way. But I remember in the beginning it was a long job to find companies and to make these demos cool. And yes, last of these, and this was the first video that is in my YouTube channel when I tested the Jetson Nano. I made some nice videos in this way, and I was testing the board. That was cool because I remember when I used the TK1 and the Jetson TX1 for the style of my robot, I was looking something small, really, really small. And when finally was released the Jetson Nano, I was really, really happy for the form factor, the carrier, and yes, finally I made nanos are for one of these reasons. And
is it the first actual robotic kit that you've made, the Nanosaur?
Well, with AI, yes. Without AI, is not the first one. I have made something similar, but I was a robot like Darkblade. Was a robot for competition, a mini sumo competition. Maybe I have a video. Sorry, it's in Italian.
I think it's great that you've had all this experience that you've drawn on to kind of roll that all into the Nanosaur for everyone to benefit from.
Yeah, that you've documented it all. There was one question while you're showing that video about Duckytown. Didn't you tell me something about what's different about Nanosaur? You mentioned something once before versus Duckytown.
Well, yes, it's different where the robot live or where do you want to teach. First for all, Duckytown is a beautiful and amazing project. I really like what they are doing, are supporting the community. And Nanosaur, just to explain, is different for the scope or the goal. finally, when it will be done, Nanosaro, the idea will be move this robot not in a city. The scope is move this robot in a little jungle. And in this case, the robot should avoid a little tree, little other animals. Maybe you can mate with other birds. You can use other board for this little robot. And the scope in this case is a robot survive in a jungle. You can use Scratch. I was looking, in fact, to use Scratch in this case. Not only Jupyter, because another scope is for guys that in the beginning doesn't have experience with Python. They maybe want to try something simple and step by step move to Python. And this is another reason that is not JetBot. It's similar, but right now it's not done. It's under development. And
so a couple of things. Scratch is a visual programming language, in case folks hadn't heard about that. I've been promised a Panther demo, and I'm patiently waiting for it, and it's getting late.
Yeah,
I want to see Panther work.
Yes. True. Well, hold on. Let run the robot. Hold on. I change. Let me see. Run. It's not ready. Yes. Okay. See the LiDAR start.
What kind of LiDAR you have on there?
Is RP LiDAR. Okay, RP LiDAR. I don't remember the model now.
Oh, and you have a Stereolabs camera on there?
Yes, Z2. I'm impressive with a fisheye. I have really good resolution. Okay, it's working now. I'm sharing RViz. This is live. In this case, for the people who are looking now, the robot is working. We can see. Yes, okay. We can see our tab map.
Okay, so we're seeing how the robot has mapped things around it while he's sitting there on your floor behind you.
Oh, it's
yes. One moment. I can try to use my phone just to see what is mean. Okay.
And so you're using a ROS node RTAB map.
Exactly.
Which has all of this already packaged to work with your LiDAR and to map the area.
Oh, maybe.
Is that right?
Do you see? Okay. Maybe there is my echo.
Oh, okay. Maybe move that one up to the top.
Yeah, exactly.
This is there we go.
Okay, we can see now the robot. This is the Z camera. Moment. I don't want to move because it's mapping now. Well, can I recognize? Well, I can do it. Okay. Yes, in fact, the localization should work. This is the Z, the LiDAR. There is a Xavier inside. This is the Traxon. There are other simple stuff. There is an Arduino inside to manage some LED lights inside.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes.
Nice view there.
Yes, I don't know.
So as you...
Yeah, do you see? Yeah. Because I'm not watching now the live. I don't know what I'm showing.
So as you move it, it's able to map more of the room.
Yes,
it's running out, it's collecting it, and we're seeing its visualization of the room fill in the RViz view.
Yeah,
correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Let's try. One moment, I need to drop my phone. Otherwise I can't drive. I leave, okay. Oh, you're in.
That'll wake you up.
Yeah, okay. Now I can drive because now I manually drive the robot. I don't have enough space.
That's cool. Then you can see how the mapping is filling in as it's able to gather more information.
Yeah, and in this case, TabMap is working inside the robot. Okay. Oh, one moment. We're inside the wall. Okay. Okay, much better.
And those are really good results. So I believe our tab map basically uses scale and rotation invariant features. So every frame from the camera, it does feature extraction, matches them against the database that it has. And via that, it's able to localize and then populate the point cloud with additional data points in it. And over time, you get a more and more dense map, which eventually you could navigate off of.
Yeah, yes. And I will show you later what you can do after. Example, I made years ago a 3D map of a garden, exporting a STL file. And finally, or you can use in a virtual, in augmented reality, this map, or well, if you're crazy, you can print with a 3D printer in scale. Finally, it's an STL file. It's completely a file that you can use.
It even is picking up patterns of the rug, right?
Yeah.
So
Let me dry. Okay.
So it's a mixture of the LiDAR plus the camera.
Yes, there are many information. If you see, okay, we can see here. Oh, these red dots are the information from the LiDAR. The other point are from the camera. There are other information that we can see. Example, we have the odometry. This is from robot localization. I read the data from and make a sensor fusion from the visual odometry from the Z, IMU from the robot, IMU from the Z2, LiDAR. The same map is made from tab map to fix the localization as well. And what is missing? LiDAR. Yes, it's done. Okay. This is the all information just to make the map, to localize the robot and make the map as well, because there are many loops inside.
And does it have an issue with enough memory to make all that keep all that information and compare with what it already knows? That create a database of all this?
Well, with our tab map, this is a good question. When I used it in the beginning, the TX1, I was quite in trouble in the beginning. But I see now there is in the tab map repository people that are working with the Jetson Nano. I would like to try, but I remember I was in trouble with to make a lot of stuff. But the funniest part was recording the robot working, the map recorder, the stream from the robot, the video that maybe some people have seen from my channel. With the TX2, the story was completely different. I was with more power to mapping the area and move the robot. The greatest part, for sure, was the AGX Xavier, because in this case, the robot was able to do the map. But the problem was, technically, it was not the GPU in that case. It was only the CPU, because some of these packages that I was using was finding more CPU space to work. Not for the GPUs, was fine, because some of the point that I like to show was use and drive the robot from a web page. And in this case, all this application doesn't use a GPU, and this was one of the reasons that sometimes it was in trouble to manage all this stuff. And repeat, was not for the GPUs was fine, always fine. Or in this case, recording in a SD card was.
So today the Panther has a Zephyr on it. Is that right, Rafael?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. You can see here as
looks
well.
really good. Now,
virtualized.
have you played around with any path planning on this from the occupancy grid or anything like that?
I used MoveBase
Move it.
for Panther. Okay. Yes, MoveBase. I never tried Move It. And Explore. I used another ROS package. I don't remember the name. For Dude, the little one before Panther, and Harvey, the other two. In this case, I made a path planner and a controller. and I implemented on MoveBase. I made this plugin, but it was made years ago. I don't know if it works now, and I never maintained it after my PhD. In this case, I made a path controller. For this one, yes, is with MoveBase. Now I don't know if it works, because before to show Panther in action, last time that I ran Panther was maybe more than 6 months ago, and 2 days ago I recompiled some of this part, and I don't remember if I recompiled the navigation part, because the navigation part uses well the GPU. I remember. I'm not sure. Anyway, I see some bugs. Okay, I will check later. Now I won't see only the robot in action. I made as well some a package was called the ROS Orchestrator to manage different packages in real time, switch off, switch on, controller, navigation, exploration. Because usually, in particular, when you go to a conference, you need to show some part of some different controller. And I made this orchestrator just to press a button on a joystick and quickly change the demo for the robot.
Do we have any final questions that we need to make sure and ask Raffaello before we leave?
Maybe
I think one person was asking about the colors. Now, I think you mentioned before that the red sprinklings of dots, that's from the LiDAR, which is estimating the distance to a solid wall, etc.
Yes,
right?
yes, exactly.
But the cameras are also doing some calculations, and that's where the color's coming from for the rug and the floor.
Yes. Maybe I can show you directly. There is we can see color. We hope we can see something. I'm not sure.
So somebody's asking, so the mapping is made using the 2D LiDAR and a camera. So is that correct? Or is there, you said there's IMU.
Yes, there is as well another map. Okay, let's see.
The camera is a 3D camera.
Yes,
So
yes.
It's a 3D camera, and then it has RGB component, and that's how you get the color.
Yes, in this case, it's a stereo camera. In this case, we have two cameras, and we don't have the depth, but we have an estimation using the GPU inside.
Is it a Stereolabs Z2 or is it a Z1?
This is on Panther is the Z2.
Okay.
Right now.
So the camera is made by Stereolabs and its model is Z2.
Yeah. Meanwhile, maybe I can show you some last part. Yes. Let's try, because I don't know if you're ending the live.
No, we don't have to end it right at the.
Okay, cool. Okay. Well, about Panther, I think I show most of this part. What I'm missing?
I'm sure these guys would love to see your video of the Nanosaur too.
Yes,
So
exactly. We can move to Nanosaur. Let's close. Yes, I use this camera to show Nanosaur. Right now, Nanosaur is under development. I was just to repeat, because compare Panther is not ready. I'm working. I spent most of the time to see to design the system, the environment, the documentation, and to make all in Docker. Because another goal for this robot is follow just really few steps for 3D printing, for the software. Only press a button, press an install command, and the system running up, downloading directly the Docker with ROS2. And another point, I made a continuous integration, not only for the coding, with when the code is updated, release a new Docker, but as well for the documentation. When you update a schematic or when you update an STL, the documentation, the website will update as well. It's all up to date because usually for me, but I think some of the engineers know, the boring part is make the documentation, make a line at what you release with what you want to show for the other people. And I spend really a lot of the time to make this part simple or simplify this part. And yes, but the problem now is not completed. I changed my my job from before Christmas to now. I was honestly quite busy to think something else. And second point, now I'm restarting. I hope from next week to restart to update the robot again. Should run again. This is on ROS 2. Ah, well, it's running. Oh, yes, it was already running. Okay. What is working now? We can see inside the Jetson Nano there is a Docker with ROS 2 Foxy. Is only right now sharing the streaming from the camera. I need to fix it. I don't know why when I run the camera should look like works. Look like work as well for us too. When I open Erwitz, doesn't work. I need to check. And there is the motor controller, the LCD controller that I made the first API, but I need to write the AIs for the robot. And inside my host is not connected to the robot. There is the controller, the operation controller that I can manage the robot. Now I can drive. It's really simple demo. Oh.
No, so you don't need much room to run it.
No, exactly. Another point, compare Panther, that if you see, I move it just a bit, just a bit, the robot, and the map was already done. In this case, with Nanosaur, you can work in a desk, in an half of your room, and you can understand how it's work robot. I can example another point for me when I designed Panther, Nanosaur. Another of the reason was in the beginning. Well, it's cool, Panther. There is a lockdown. I can try every day Panther outdoor. Another point is raining like not every day, but we are close. And okay, I need to try ROS 2, a new path controller, new controller, the monocular depth estimation example for Nanosaur. I need a new robot. Another reason that I made this is a selfish reason for me. And yes, this is in this case Nanosaur running. Well, it's fast for my idea, and now is faster. I don't want speed for this robot. And if you think there is yes, one moment because I don't see what. Okay, there is one camera. Okay, yes, now we can see better. There is one camera for the monocular depth estimation. Run, move quickly. The robot in the beginning cannot be good. I can change the motor. Well, it's simple. It's only open here and change the motors. But right now the speed is fine. About another point will be update the eyes, because the reason of this double display is to show what is think the robot, what is watching, so just to make cute the robot. And what I'm missing, that's all. Yeah, that's all right now for Nanosaur. It's really a lot of work.
Well, it's a super awesome robot, and it's a really cute, tiny robot too. So I can't wait to make one here as well.
is small compare Jetbolt.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
very
don't have Jetbolt.
very condensed, basically
Yeah.
built around the Jetson and the power bank. So it's an
Yes,
awesome
exactly.
design. I love it.
Yeah, I spent 1 month and a half in this case because I was already with an idea. I made some experiment. Maybe I don't know if there are game players or people that know StarCraft. I was thinking to make the tank from StarCraft in the beginning. I tried. I print some part, but I was so in trouble to design as well to use for a Nanosaur. And finally, I reshape again because another problem was the track printed. Maybe you can let me see. No, well, hold on. I can switch again to my website. Stop and reshare again. Here, exactly. I'm sharing. Okay, we can see here the track. I spent some time to find a nice shape for the track to make simple to print. In this case, you don't need nothing, any support. You can only print and it's done. And this is what made by experiment, because in the beginning, example, when I try to make the tank from StarCraft, the track, I used too much support to build. And I thought, okay, it's not a proper way to make a track. And finally, I thought, okay, maybe I can use this type of track. Another point was the base. In the beginning, was only one single part. Was okay, was fine, but when I printed, was too hard. In particular, print some of this part. But I noticed after I thought, okay, maybe I can split into part, front, rear. Yes, exactly, front and rear, to simplify this part of printing. Another one that I will upgrade because I was using ball bearings, American ball bearings with Imperial matrix unit. Now I want to do another one with a international integration system unit. Sorry. Another part that I spent not too much. Let me see again the robot. Yes, was the shape, but in this case was only find a good orientation for the camera and a good point. Compare example Panther. Using a 3D printer, you can reprint the same cover many times and find the final shape in really short time. When I made Panther, example, I made some mistake for the sprockets, and I lost maybe 1 month only to design, wait, send files to the company, wait the delivery. In this case, it's only I spent maybe half day, three times copy of the same cover just to change the angle of the camera, and was done.
The whole thing's amazing, and it's great that people can just go to this website and look at it. So and
yes,
dig around. So that's great. It's just amazing. There you go, Nanosaur.ai.
Yes, exactly. Speaking about Nanosaur.ai, you can find here. And well, if you see and someone want try to make the robot, feel free to ask me what you want in the Discord channel. Really feel free. I'm working as well. I'm not speaking this robot is done. I'm working on this way. If you have new ideas, something that is weird, write me on the example here. I show how you can make the robot with all parts. But maybe if you have more experience with me with a 3D printer, you can suggest me something to improve or make it faster. You're welcome. Example I told in the beginning, a friend try to do it in wood. Cool, another way to make it. Here you can find what you want. or part, or I made it using Nanosaur. The support, example, the time and the type of the material for the track. For the expansion board, we are releasing soon, finally, the schematic. The new schematic will be done. This version for this PCB is really simple. The new version, I'm already thinking, I was telling you about a motor controller, but I won't add here a little IMU just to increase the sensor for a Nanosaur, but step by step, because another point is you can start without spending money, but you have many updates that you can do step by step, changing. Example, another one I start with a Nano, but I won't use a Xavier NX. Okay, you can switch. But step by step, all part will be ready. Same
Excellent.
part for the assembly.
Looks good, man. So
Yeah,
we're getting
looks
late
great.
here.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Raffaella.
Yeah.
This was awesome, man.
Yeah, this is great.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
Okay.
thanks for coming. This has been
Yeah.
great.
Wow.
So, I don't think we're going to have one next month because GTC is going to be going on. But certainly we will be back in whatever the month after that is. It must be May.
May.
In May, yeah, that's right. We're on
Merry
hiatus
month
next
of
month
May.
because of GTC, but we hope you join that.
Well, remember, for all people are following us to register to the GTC. Don't forget,
Yes. It's
we are
free.
watching. We are watching.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.